What's got me more concerned is LEGO thinking that the IP of Sonic the Hedgehog in general isn't enough to bring in sales after all of this. Now, am I asking you to buy the Sonic set to avoid the worst from happening? Well, that's still your own decision to make. Us working together to boost sales could encourage them to make a sequel to this misfire, but by not buying it, it encourages them to abandon the IP, even though that's not the problem. I should have never doubted. Recently, information has popped up about 5 LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog sets, or rather, 5 sets we've been told are based off of the Blue Blur's adventures. They are as follows, with prices in USD. Set 76990 for $29.99, set 76991 for $39.99, set 76992 for $49.99, set 76993 for $59.99, and set 76994 for $99.99. That's a solid lineup of sets for a starter wave. Minecraft started with a line similar in size and price, and I feel that isn't for a random reason, as they're both tied to video games. Also of note, all these set numbers directly follow the one for the Horizon Forbidden West Tallneck, meaning that these numbers are dedicated to video games, and could even mean more beyond these 5 for who knows how many other games. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this thing, and I feel there's so much to cover here, but I'm going to try to keep it concise. First off, considering that it's a whole theme, that would mean sets meant for a general audience, play sets, and the biggest worry would be that they would end up like how LEGO Super Mario ended up. Functionally meant to be a game rather than a traditional LEGO set. It works, but the general consensus is that's not what people are looking for. So of course my biggest worry out of the gate would be a want to do something that incorporates a game of some kind in it. It's very hit or miss depending on how it's presented. I think we've reached a point with the app-tied LEGO Mario game and the chunky companion toy where we shouldn't have to worry about something like that happening to Sonic. That doesn't stop them from doing something like attaching wheels to his legs so he can run, or building some sort of pullback motor build to make him go. Maybe doing something like a couple of playsets where he just rolls along a track? None of those options seem all that bad compared to Mario, but my issue here would be that, if they were to head that route, the parts needed to make those functions work would eat into the part counts. As an example, you have LEGO City Stunts, which use flywheel motors to launch characters into super fancy ramps and stunts. This set here, the Chimpanzee Smash Stunt Loop, has 226 pieces, a common part count for a set between the $20 and $30 range, that retails at $70. Crazy, right? You see that loop there? Those massive pieces cost a lot of money to produce, inflating the price up by a lot. Add the motorcycle that actually goes, and that just jacks up the price even higher. Now, City is also notorious for being overpriced in general, so there's that on top of the already lofty ask for parts this fancy. So if LEGO Sonic sets were to take that approach, a set like the one for $40 could only have, say, about 200 or so pieces comparatively. We do, however, have the benefit of foresight, as set 76990, the set for $30, has 292 pieces, which is very fair for a set that size. So, say if it does have some sort of track, we know it's well managed when it comes to part cost. I'll be honest, despite the fact Mario and Minecraft both deliver gameplay experience as a toy, I don't feel Sonic needs to do that. As I'm sure many are well aware, Sonic games are often set-piece and story-driven. This means iconic moments are almost all right for sets, from those slower moments to the high-action boss battles. LEGO Sonic does not need a gimmick to get it going, and I will remain adamant about that, especially when previous speed or precision-centric lines like the aforementioned City Stunts and Ninjago's Spinjitzu training spinners have all had negligible results, despite LEGO's claims they work well. I don't want that for Sonic. Of course, none of that really matters if it includes minifigs. Unlike somebody! If I were not a die-hard and do anything for LEGO Sonic kind of guy, that would be the thing I'd need to bother delving into this theme, no matter what shape it takes. Minifigs. That brings me to the next thing I want to bring up. Era. Sonic has 2 defined eras dictated by art styles to communicate what kind of game you're going to play. Classic 2D platformer or mixed perspective modern playstyle, represented by the version of Sonic you play as. Classic Sonic and Modern Sonic. Although Classic Sonic has the same familiarity and still has a remarkable track record, Modern Sonic is the one more universally enjoyed as well as the most familiar, so personally, with these LEGO Sonic sets, I'd like them to have the modern versions of the characters, rather than playing it safe with all ages sets with classic characters. Doesn't stop them from doing more Classic Sonic stuff down the road like the Ideas set did, by all means have at it. Could even cross the beams a bit, promote the modern characters with a little bit of classic themed stuff in them. Not my preference, but I'll take it. I guess the final question is, what would I like to see? See, that's tough because there's just so much for them to work with. I'd say it's wisest they stick to the more evergreen concepts, things that are in nearly every game or narrative in some shape or form. Nothing tied to a specific game unless something happens to reference one. I'm gonna spitball some concepts rather than stick to any of the suggested price points, things that may fit in one spot or another. Nothing gets more iconic than Tails' Tornado. Could include a launching feature on there for Sonic as well. There are plenty of Eggman bosses to choose from, and it would be cool if they all worked with an Eggmobile design you could interchange. Heck, you could just get away with a set of Dr. Eggman, whom of which should have a molded head, please, piloting the Eggmobile. Just throw in Sonic and you're good. A lot of the final bosses would make some seriously good and big sets, ones that would include Super Sonic even. I'd say to start, they'd certainly stick with Eggman-specific ones, but the more exciting ones in my opinion, I'd say would be smartest to wait on until they branch out. I know it doesn't exactly make contextual sense, but Sonic's race car from the All-Stars racing games would make a fantastic set. Base it off Transformed specifically, and you could sell it as a 3-in-1. Heck, you can do most of the Sonic characters throughout that series as racing sets. That would certainly satisfy LEGO's love of doing vehicle sets. Shadow's bike is especially one such vehicle lineup that, honestly, has more likelihood to show up than most. If I had it my way, you could do a set that's just Team Dark. Have room for Rouge on Shadow's bike and have a brick-built E123 Omega flying beside them, whom of which, while we're talking, is the end-all be-all Sonic character I need made of LEGO, please and thank you very much. I will fund it if I have to. The only other thing I can think of that fits in that evergreen category is the Master Emerald Shrine Isle. It would be a set including Knuckles and the Master Emerald, of course, but it's what you could include in addition that would make that set truly special. Introducing Lego Chow, which is something I didn't know I wanted until I started writing this video, would be awesome. Throw in Chaos for fun to give kids something to fight, or make it a Sonic vs. Knuckles set to spice it up a bit. Something that's really going to prevail here across these sets is item boxes, rings, and badniks, really padding things to their fullest. I honestly can't choose what characters I'd love to see, as I'd love to have minifigs of all of them. To start, sticking with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Eggman, and maybe Metal Sonic would be awesome. Then once things start to go in motion, they start introducing all the other characters found across the games. They'd be silly not doing Shadow at that point. Also, LEGO, if you make us wait for Blaze the Cat like everyone else does, we're gonna have a serious problem. That would be the point where the whole thing branches out. There are so many games with so many incredible designs to see as sets. I don't think I can adequately communicate just how much this idea excites me. A childhood dream of getting an entire theme of LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog sets is a pipe dream, yet there are people talking about that possibility. If I'm only to get one of my dreams made real per year, I'll take it. I waited long for Optimus Prime, and yet last year he came. Now Sonic is on the horizon? Could it get any better? Well, yes, if they choose to introduce some Legend of Zelda sets, but you know, one miracle at a time. I need to know down in the comments which Sonic the Hedgehog character you want to see in a LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog theme. Who isn't Sonic, since we all know he'll be there? Also, what sort of set would you want to see from it too? Be sure to like and subscribe for more LEGO Sonic content, cause I have a feeling this isn't going to be the last time we're going to be talking about it. If you feel like it too, you can also donate to the channel by clicking the thanks button. Your comment gets highlighted for your generosity if you do. See, I'm in that group of people who want stuff from the more controversial Sonic games. Sonic 06? Yes please. Sonic and the Black Knight? It's literally my everything, and if I can get anything from it, I will savor it. See? Sonic is even genre spanning. There's just so much potential here, and I cannot wait to see where it goes.